Well, Kickstarter is a very interesting concept. The definition is crowdfunding, which means that instead of us looking for grants to put on a show or using personal income of mine, which we have done for the last 4 years, we put it out sort of like a public television pledge drive. And Kickstarter is a website, and when our campaign starts, you'll go to the website and you'll see an overview of what our project is with a video introduction showing you what you're supporting. And then on the pledge page are literally pledges from $10 to $5,000 that you make to my production. And for your pledge, you get a reward, just like on public television. And we have some really good rewards, I have to say. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You have to Kickstarter pledge to find out. But it's a win-win situation all the way around. You get, it's something that you really want. Trust me, this is something that you really want. And so your reward for pledging is something that you really want. My reward for the pledge is I get funding for my show. When I first heard about it, I thought it sounded silly. And the more that I looked into it, Jennifer Nolan is another one of my sister studio dancers who's been sort of putting together this whole Kickstarter thing for me, kind of keeping me on the path and on task, doing what I need to do. And she really drove it home that this was going to be a really important thing. And when I finally, had time to sit down and look at it, I thought, my God, it's amazing. And the reason that it's amazing is because it's like I said, Kickstarter is the escrow account that manages the whole thing. And there's the creative person. There are the people that are pledging. Kickstarter runs in the background, and that's it. There's no granting board. There's no process. There's no percentage taken out for a fiscal sponsor. It's literally you and me, and that's it. Kickstarter is almost like an escrow account. Like they're holding the pledge until all the pledges are in. So we have to actually meet, the pledge is for $20,000, and we have to meet the $20,000 pledge mark for the people who have pledged to be charged the money. So they sort of manage that whole timeline. And if we cross $20,000, then we get the $20,000. But if we don't, then we don't get anything. So that's the tricky part. Oh, it's not that we get whatever comes in. It's like we have to meet that pledge goal to get any of it.
And so there's a beginning date and then a cutoff date then? Exactly.
It will start on the 20th of February and run until the 20th of March.
Okay.
So in 30 days, we have to bring in 20,000 in pledges in order to get the 20,000 in pledges. We don't get any increment of it if we don't. We can go over it. Loving public, we can go over it, but we cannot go under it. So if we go over it, we get as much as gets pledged. But if we go under it, we don't get anything at all. So it's a little bit of a nail biter.
What kinds of things are they covering?
It is covering everything. It's covering the rental of the theater, the salaries of the artists, the salary of the band, the salary of the production crew. A lot of it is salary. If everyone just wanted to donate their time and fly out, pay their own way to fly to San Francisco and hang out for a weekend, then, it would actually cover the rental of the theater. That's all it would do. So it's basically covering salaries. And previously, I just paid the artists a stipend, and they get themselves here on their own. But this year I would really like to be able to pay them. I'd like to pay their airfare. And, we generally put people up in other people's houses, but now we have a lot of people. Maybe it would be nice for people to have hotel rooms, as opposed to sleeping on a cot. So, it's rental of the theater, production costs, salaries for everybody involved, and just all the little extras that, props and costuming things that pop up that are specific to the show, and somebody says, I really need this thing, and it's like, I go buy it. So
good. There's so many other things popping up on Facebook, on your Facebook page, on the Devotion Kickstarter page, that's supporting devotion physically by holding events and workshops and classes.
Yeah.
And were you surprised by this?
I was surprised and delighted because for a while I felt like I was in a cave by myself. I wasn't getting any feedback from anybody about any level of participation for the pledge, and then all of a sudden all these shows cropped up that people are doing a fundraiser show, which I thought was brilliant. I didn't even think about that. It's a really brilliant, very generous way for people to support devotion. And even my student troupe is doing a show. I'm honored and tickled.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Tickled and honored at the same time.
Great. And where can we learn more about the Devotion Kickstarter? Like the website is?
Well, we have, this is sort of, Kelly, as I mentioned to you earlier, this interview is really helpful because it helps me realize all the parts that have exploded into different corners of my brain, and I need to bring them all together so we can all see what is devotion. Right now, there's a small page on Fat Chance Belly, fcbd.com that tells you about the Kickstarter. It doesn't tell you that much about devotion because we wanted to focus on the Kickstarter. There is a Devotion Kickstarter page on Facebook that is like an event page that's letting you know that the Kickstarter is going to happen. But we haven't really put together, what is devotion this year yet because I've been so busy with the fundraising prospect. So I will get on that right away. So if you go to fcbd.com, on the left nav, you'll see devotion. You can click on that. It should start to tell you things. And when you get to fcbd.com, there's a banner on the top that says, "Are you devoted?" And if you fill in your email address there, I'm just about ready to start a newsletter, and that's going to be the really fun informational thing. So every day I'll be sending out a reminder about the Kickstarter with like little blog posts and fun ways for people to sort of follow along and find out what it takes to produce the show.
And so then when you're going to have a website to submit donations, will it be like through PayPal, or how will that be done?
You mean the Kickstarter website?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, the Kickstarter website.
Yes. When you the pledger, go to the Kickstarter website, you'll be able to find my devotion project. And when you click through to that, if you go to the pledge page, you just click and sort of create a little account. And like that's the escrow part where it holds your info until everybody's made all the pledges, and then it charges your account. I believe it goes through Amazon. It's like a PayPal thing, but I believe it goes through Amazon.
And then that doesn't officially open, that part doesn't open until the 20th, correct?